Insurasales Live, I got a special treat for you here. An old friend of mine.
Very
Not
old.
that he's old, but our friendship is. Taylor Martin, often known as Galen Hendrick's better half in their partnership. A hell of a guy. It's good to see you again. How you doing, man?
Good to see you, Brandon. Congratulations on all this.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
So how long have we known each other?
I was just thinking that. I believe we met on a trip with Great American in 2006.
Before that.
Was it before that?
I met you at the Conseco Field House.
That's
trip.
right. That's right.
Yeah, like
Gosh.
02, I think.
Oh my
something
gosh.
like
God, it's really?
that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we were doing foam parties in 06. That's where I got I remember you calling me saying, let me go to the foam party. I told you, I'd tell some stories, brother.
Yeah. That was in Puerto Vallarta, right?
Puerto Vallarta
Yeah,
with Chambers.
yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, with that company. So,
Yeah.
man, you've been, you're kind of like the quiet icon of the industry in a lot of ways. I mean, when I first met, we were both coming up, trying to be someone. We both had our first, like, IMO or contract with Conseco, I think it was. We met just because we were performing then, man. So how's your journey been? And,
the long and winding road. You know, it's been a great trip. Had a couple of redos, like we were just talking. You know, 2006. Prior to that, we were all captive, much like you and your dad when you started. We had running 4 to 5 appointments a day, 4 days a week, all booked through outbound telemarketing. Yeah. So 06, the no call list comes out. That was about the end of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that party was over.
Yeah.
So on a couple of those trips where we had met, I talked to some agents and I'm like, hey, who's your upline? I don't know. You don't know, okay. Or they had some terrible story that they would tell about him.
Right.
And I told Galen, I'm like, hey, I think we may have an opportunity here. And so that was when we got into brokerage.
Yeah.
And that was in 06 and really haven't looked back.
Yeah.
So.
And you guys have been unique in the industry. There's a lot of FMOs out there in the Medicare space. You guys have been unique for the fact that you guys drink your own Kool-Aid, so to speak. You're actually a sales organization. You're actually on the ground. You're not in your glass castle somewhere far away. Tell me what difference that makes in a FMO.
You know, it's really helped us being close to the action, and it's helped us whether we're designing products, whether we're designing sales scripts. Ancillary has become an area where we've really excelled over the last 10 years, and it's being able to position those products with groups and agencies that have a sales force where we can come in and say, hey, here's what's working for us, here's what we're seeing that's doing well in the field, these are the best practices, try these, and I think it's going to really shorten your lead time on success and really getting out there and doing really well with it. And so it has been a differentiator for us. Really,
you guys have a sales team right there in your office, your own agency, right?
We have had a captive or call center for up until 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
We just finally said, you know what, it's time, and we're going to have those agents go independent. Okay. And they're going to continue to work their book. So that's a good deal for them. It's a good deal for us. Yeah. But we've been doing it a long time, and we felt like it was finally time to probably take our hands off of that.
Breaking news.
That's breaking news. Yeah.
If you're doing that, you're cleaning the decks for something bigger.
Well, it was, we've done it for a long time, and as you know, it takes a lot of staff. It takes a lot of leads, it's just a lot of effort and energy.
Right.
But it's something that we are very passionate about. I mean, I came up in a captive sales force, similar to you, and then we went to telesales, and we were early in the telesales space, just like you, and they've all been good to us.
Yeah.
Like you said, being close to the sales environment gives you a lot of credibility, especially in what we do.
Right. Well, I mean, you're sitting there, you can feel someone's energy, like when they're talking your language, because you've been on the floor and you've been selling too, and then you actually can go to the carriers speaking, not theoretical, right? That's the difference.
It adds a lot of credibility, and it got us into a lot of doors, and continues to get us into a lot of doors, because our value add when we're reaching out to a new relationship often is sales training. Hey, we can actually show you how to do this, and show you what's worked for us and others that are big names in the industry that they can really take away from it, and we're able to add value.
Anyone who's met Galen just gets sold immediately, right?
I mean,
she's a walking sales presentation all the time, right? Like she is.
That's
that full on. You just got sold by a master salesperson every time you see her.
You know,
Like
watching
all
the
for
two
good
of y'all in a room together is always fun because, I mean, you guys have both got it. And you've always had that, you know, really outgoing personality and so friendly. And it's obviously worked well for both of y'all.
Well, I don't remember a lot of those times we were in the rooms. Now that I'm sober, I look back and go, yeah, they probably have better memories of some of those times than I do. But we always, if people don't know, we always met on these conventions and all these other things. There's always parties. There's always something going on. So
always an excuse to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now you're fast forward. You're one of the top IMOs in the country for Medicare. You're doing proprietary products. And now you're an integrity partner.
Yes, sir.
What led to that? How did that happen?
You know, there's obviously been a ton of consolidation in the industry in the last 3-4 years. And we tried to go our own for as long as we could and decided, you know what, I think it's time to kind of find a home and align with someone where, you know, somebody like-minded with a lot of the same thoughts and feelings on the industry, and integrity was a really good fit for us. It helped that most of our friends were there.
Yeah.
We were one of the later ones to join, and so we had the vision of seeing what they had all gone through, talked to a lot of them, and you know, they all said the same thing. They're like, everything they told us is accurate. It's all been just like they said. We still run our business. We still own our P&Ls. We're obviously all aligned and trying to grow and, you know, help the overall business. But it's been a lot of fun. I mean, we're right at a year in.
Yeah.
It's been good.
So does that take a lot of stress off your business to feel like you have that bigger alignment with a large organization?
You know, I would
do you
say
feel any different?
Here's where it's helped in a few spots. Like, you know, you don't have that pressure of worrying about losing a contract because integrity is now so big. You know, you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Right.
You know, we all have our carriers where we write a lot of business with them, but there's always a few more that are smaller ones that, you know, that pressure's off. But man, really, it's
and
business as usual.
If you lose the contract, you can lose the agent that's under that contract because you don't have the spread.
Yeah, like you said, when you and I were both coming up, you fought for every contract that you could get, and they were important. And you know, now there's so many mouths to feed.
Right.
I mean, my goodness, there's so many opportunities that we have as being an integrity partner.
Right.
It's you know, it's fun.
Right.
It's a good time.
Yeah. So the day to day, you have full autonomy, full freedom, but you're aligned with something bigger, and it feels
Right.
So.
Well, like last night, man, they threw a hell of a party. We had a good time.
Yeah.
It was really fun, and but no, the day to day, man, really, I don't want to say nothing's changed.
Yeah.
But not much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still in the office pretty much every day. If there's anything COVID taught us, you know, you and I can work from anywhere.
Right.
But I'm probably putting in at least as many hours, if not more, than I did, you know, before.
Right.
And still doing the same stuff. I would say Galen is doing so much more of this stuff now, which is what she loves. She loves doing the trainings. And that's been huge for her because now she's doing so many trainings with other integrity partners, teaching them all of the things that we've been successful at and have enjoyed and loved for a long time. It's like a whole new life for her that this has given her. She loves it.
Yeah. Well, she's got a lot of value to give, and now she's got some people on the same level with her.
That's
and
right.
all that to
Everybody's aligned. I mean,
different level.
they really are.
So you guys going to take over the world, or y'all buying everyone?
You know, it's amazing. You know, there's an announcement or two.
Antitrust stuff happening.
You know, that's way above my pay grade, but I can tell you it is amazing to see how many groups there are out there that would be acquirable or interested. And, you know, they've gone from, you know, just the senior Medicare space to, you know, the wealth space and, you know, annuities and, you know, these massive life agencies. It's bigger than I ever could have imagined.
So what does that do for the individual producer? I talk to a lot of agents all the time, and they're like, look, everything's going, everyone's cashing out, everyone's getting consolidated and all of this. How does that help me? It helps Taylor Martin, it helps Galen, it helps all these guys, but what does it do for me specifically? And can you speak to that a little bit, and probably admit to some of the downside if there is some, as well as the upside?
Sure. So I would say for the individual agent, you know, I would say the benefit that they're seeing would be, you know, technology that, you know, we're able to now cascade down because Integrity as a whole has got such a massive, I think InsurTech maybe overused a little bit, but my God, they have so much technology. So one of the new things that we're going through this year is having to record all calls for agents, street-level agents, right? The guy who, you drive down Lufkin, Texas, that guy's now got to record all of his calls. Right. That's new.
Yeah.
But previously, senior security benefits, that would be a heavy lift for us.
Right.
Now Integrity's like, oh yeah, hold on, we've got that solved in a couple of weeks. Let everybody know, here's what the solution's going to be, and it's going to take care of it. Woo, problem solved.
They didn't call calls.
They should have. They should have. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, it's all integrated and it stores forever.
Yeah.
I have 15 years of recordings to prove it.
Right. Well, again, you were one of the first ones in this space.
Yeah.
And you and I have known each other a long time, and it's been fun to watch as you've been a pioneer in multiple industries.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got a pretty solid reputation, a Midas touch, if you will.
So what is the, I appreciate that, but what is the, that's a benefit that more, like we're all playing on a higher level somehow because all the FMOs in the industry are large portion of them are aligned. So
yeah.
Solve things. That's one thing I love about software is you solve the problem, it's solved for everyone immediately. Right? And that's why I'm doing this for everybody. It's like I already solved all the problems you're going to have. Well, we'll talk about that later. Long time coming, you're right. Yeah. But so there's that. Now, when they wake up day to day, are there any challenges that consolidation faces for them, or should they change their plans just to go get acquired by Integrity and or whoever else?
I would say it's business as usual is kind of cliche. For a writing agent, I don't really know if it has changed that much.
Yeah.
A personal producing general agent, I would say as far as, is there an opportunity to potentially, partner with Integrity or Senior Market Sales or AmeriLife or, there's others and, that are not even thinking of. I would say a lot of it depends upon your scale. Right, obviously, so the larger, you mentioned EBITDA, right? That's obviously an acronym that's important in the acquisition area. People want to know what your EBITDA is. But I would say as a lot of the bigger deals are off the table, people are still looking to acquire where it makes sense.
Right.
And, an agent who's got a large block of business, if he's looking to have a discussion, absolutely. Let's see what that looks like because it may be a perfect fit.
Right. So what do you offer to that person? Like say they have they built their business, they have 5-7 people, a good solid agency, the one you always want to get aligned with. What do you guys offer to them?
Well, I am most definitely not on the merger and acquisition side of the deal. I still run senior security benefits every single day, but we've got a great team that can have that conversation.
Yeah.
Eric Peterson runs the M&A side, and then there's also CSG, which does the Access Capital, which that's kind of a different deal where they're buying blocks of business.
Right.
So maybe an agent's coming up and he says, okay, I've got Aetna's obviously been big in the med subspace for the last 3-4 years. Maybe he wants to sell that block of his business because he's needing to buy more leads, needing to invest in technology, trying to ramp up and buy, get office space, expand, whatever. They can get more strategic and look at just buying individual blocks of business, be it MedSup, MedAdvantage, Life, whatever it is.
Right.
So that's another part of Integrity is looking at that as well.
Yeah. Well, we've talked enough about Integrity, man. We've known each other a long time. A long time. So for the agents out there, what's your number one silver bullet you would give for an agent about building a career? Because you come up, now you have so many commas in your net worth, I'm sure. But you come up. I knew you when we were both like, can we afford that bottle of vodka?
Right. I had a lot more hair, that's for sure. Yeah, you actually knew me when I had hair. Goodness.
Yeah. Oh, that's
long time ago.
But so when someone hears Taylor Martin, they're talking to someone who's done it, who started from humble beginnings. You're out on the street beating leads in a captive shop at one point.
Right in business, personal production. Just like you came up, I came up the same way. And my family thought I was insane when I left the job at PricewaterhouseCoopers to go straight commission and leave the 401k and the salary and all that. And it was scary.
Accounting or
consulting.
Consulting.
Consulting, yeah. I was the guy doing IT consulting, believe it or not, writing code. I was terrible at it.
Yeah.
Hated it. But yeah, that's what I did for 18 months out of college.
You were a salesman on the inside.
I had to really think back to times where, like when I was a kid, I would swim in the ponds on the golf course and sell the golf balls on the weekends. And make like $100 a weekend when I was like, 10. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, you go with a snorkel and get the golf ball.
Yeah, dude, I had like the best Hot Wheels collection of anybody I knew. I mean, and I was real active in student government, so I was selling myself. So again, I guess it's tangible if it's you, but I'd done a lot of sales, but I hadn't really thought of it that way. What's the secret, man? There is no secret. There's no silver bullet. It's cliche. Put your head down, go to work, find a system, and do it every day. The reason a lot of agents fail is because they don't treat this like a job. They dabble in it, and they don't wake up every morning and have a plan and have a system, right, to be successful with. For me, I found Galen early on, and she and I hit it off, and I'm like, this girl and I have a lot in common, and I trust her, and we've really built our agency, sounds cheesy, but based on the golden rule. Right. Do what you say you're going to do, when you say you're going to do it, do the right thing, always treat people the way you want to be treated, be fair with people, and always have the long view. Don't try to cut corners and just go for the short wins. Always play the long wins. I mean, it's
long-term view. That's
it is,
the most
right?
important thing.
And always do the right thing.
You missed my stage speech, but that was talking about everyone underestimates what they can do over decades.
Right, over time.
We overestimate what we can do in a day or a week. We always fall short of that. But over a decade, over a lifetime, I put out there 10,000 times.
Yeah.
Like what I thought was possible when I was 18, 20 years old compared to what I now know is possible. And I think I'm still short-sighted probably. It's probably 10,000x.
Yeah.
I mean,
some sayings to that point that I love, because I totally agree with you. How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Yeah.
Rome wasn't built in a day. Brick by brick.
Yeah.
Have your plan, believe in it, and go to work and just keep building on it.
But build in that way where that brick stacks with the next
Right.
brick, lays a foundation for the next brick. A lot of people just start throwing bricks.
No.
And then they get stacked up like this, and they go.
Right.
So if you're methodical, take the long run, stack this. For long, your way up here on a stable platform.
It's worked well for us. Going back to that trip when I said, look, I think there's an opportunity here. I'm seeing where agents aren't happy because of blah, blah, blah. And we already do that for our captive agents at the time. I was like, I think brokerage is going to like this. And it did.
Is that when you and Galen formed your partnership?
That was probably 2 years afterwards, because we did the captive for about 2 years until the no-call list.
Yeah.
And then we were forced into brokerage.
Yeah.
And brokerage was tough at the time because there's so much nepotism in the brokerage space. How many father-son teams or third generations are there? And that was something we were very proud of, is that we competed against all those guys, and over time, we beat most of them in the products that we've really chased. We didn't do them all, and that's another thing I would say. Yeah. Don't try to do everything. Right. Pick a few products and
let other people do good in other businesses. You don't have to beat everyone at everything all the time.
You don't. And people would call me and say, oh, you don't do annuities, you don't do long-term care. I'm like, no, but I can tell you, here's some good guys to call. Yeah. These guys are honest, they're good people, they'll take good care of you. Yeah. Call them. Here's what I'm good at. And that was one thing I'd always tell agents. I'll tell you what I'm good at and what I'm not. Right. But what I'm good at, I know better than anybody, or at least as well as anybody. I mean, as well as Brandon Todd.
At least.
At least
while I'm sitting in the islands.
Living the dream, brother.
Yeah, man. So that's one regret I had, is I went to the islands too soon. In 2014, I moved there full time.
Yeah.
I should have moved in 2016, looking back. And it could have been a little more stable and could have worked a little bit better.
You live and learn.
I had a plan going in and all that, but it was a little too early.
Yeah.
And I had to come back, and I had to pay the price for that rebuild and come back in a different way. But
and you did it.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. But the thing is, there's no end in business.
Right.
It's a journey of who you become. So.
It's fun. It's a challenge, right? It should be a good time. And that's one of the things I love about our businesses there's so many great people, and you get to choose who you do business with, right? Yeah, I like this guy. I don't really like that guy. This guy. We're going to do some stuff together, and you keep finding more of those relationships, people you trust, people you love, people that believe the same things you do, and man, it's fun. That's a good time.
You're a guy who loves the insurance business.
It's been good to me.
You definitely are, man.
Yeah.
And I'll tell everyone here, this is a guy of integrity. I've never, not just the company, but inner integrity. He's never told me something that wasn't straight from the heart or didn't work out to be that way. He's turned down the opportunities to do business with me when it wasn't in my best interest. You and Galen, I wish y'all continued success.
Thanks, brother.
Anything else for the people? I think you said it all, man.
Well, again,
whatever sounds cliche, there's a reason it's cliche.
That's a good point.
Understand it on a deeper level than you do, and don't just dismiss it looking for something new and shiny, because the cliches are the truth, and that's why they stick around.
Don't chase the bright shiny things. Stay focused on what you're good at. Thanks, brother.
Pleasure having you. Good seeing you again, brother.
Pleasure, absolutely. This was fun. Thanks for the invite.
All right, and we're out. Take care.